Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Team Talk TV, episode 63. There's four of us on the show today, and you're going to get straight into it. But first, it's our first guest, Adam Mckola. Welcome to the show. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, boys. Come to me on a difficult week, though, man. We dropped a lot of points this week, man.
We'll come on to that in a second. Great to have you on, Adam. Coach, how are you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good. Like I said, for me as well, just like Adam said, it ain't been a good week. So just keep it.
We'll come on to it. But before I come on to you, Ibs, I just want to say, check out Coach's book in the description below, Asset and Liabilities, a book for pretty much all ages, but for young kids, just talking about life as a whole. So make sure you check that out in the description below, as we always do each week. And lastly, Ibs, welcome back on the show. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm not bad. It's been a good week for me, but
we'll come on to it. So much to talk about. Well, we'll start off with the game that we just watched. West Ham United 1, Liverpool 3, and honestly, get in, because last week you saw me depressed when Man United beat us 3-2. So yeah, we'll talk about that game just slightly. It's been a good week for Liverpool. They obviously beat Spurs by 3-1 away from home. Ibs, we start with you. Try to speak as a neutral. I know we've got two Mancs here, but what do you make of the performance today from Liverpool?
I thought it was a good performance. One they probably needed after the Spurs result. I thought they played well against Spurs, but this was probably one of them results where you just need to solidify the week off, and just cap the whole week with a good performance. It's good to see Salah getting goals again. Got a brace, and Wijnaldum as well, who's, although the contract situation is there, he's still a key player. Klopp will be happy with the defensive acumen of it, although conceding could be a bit of an annoyance, but to have literally no centre-backs who he'd usually call on, it's not bad. Henderson's filling in. So all in all, I think Klopp will be happy with that, and then he'll think about the next game in the midweek.
Yeah, I was just I wanted to come on to the injuries. Of course, Fabinho missed Thursday night against Spurs. Mane was out today. Fabinho's coming back from Manchester City next week, so he doesn't play midweek either. And what a performance by Nat Phillips on loan at Stuttgart last year. 23-year-old centre-half colossus, the way he's built. But what a performance from him. He played well against West Ham in the home game. Fantastic. And let's talk about that second goal from Liverpool, from Mohamed Salah. They win it back. We know West Ham are so dangerous from set pieces. But boys, you're going to have to just... I can't... Just such a really good goal. I mean, what's your thoughts on Salah coming into form as well? And also Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's come who played really well against Tottenham. Were those players, when they click, is that when Liverpool click as well and hopefully can challenge and get those points again? Is it them two that need to play well for Liverpool to be getting performances?
I'd say so. I think when Trent had the bad game against Southampton, everyone was starting to, just try and notice a few things. But I think that's the one thing that you can say about Liverpool team as a whole. They've been so good for the last 2 years. Their expectancy levels is to keep performing at that level all the time. So if it drops, there's a cause for concern. But good players will always come back. And I think you're seeing that not only in Trent, but also in Salah. He's a kid who, for me, Salah's a guy who, for me, is sometimes on the cusp of a game, but he'll always score. And this can only be good for now Liverpool in the run-in for him to, continue scoring, especially with no Mane, who are supposedly supposed to be out for a few weeks or something. But for Salah, that's really good as well.
Yeah. Adam, I want to come to you because I was watching the kickoff on Thursday and you said something about the Liverpool players. Well, the next topic was, do Liverpool have enough to reclaim the title? They're 4 points behind City with a game in hand, of course, against Everton. They go back into third place. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying that you feel like some of the Liverpool players have been found out. What do you mean in that sort of way? Do you feel like, is it the performance levels are dropped, what you're trying to say? Or what is it about Liverpool that you feel have been found out? Because without these injuries, and I think me as well, I should remind myself.
Did I use those words?
I don't remember. I was just flicking through. You could probably correct me.
I can't remember using those words, But if I said something like that, I don't think Liverpool have been found out. I think the frustrating thing for me, obviously, as a Man United fan watching them, is they haven't conceded more goals. And I think that's a testament to, obviously, Henderson, who's been filling in, and Fabinho, who's been filling in. But I just said Nat Phillips has been quality as well. Today, there was fine margins in that game. There was a chance just for Antonio. He stuck it wide, and then the quality of Salah just comes through. The guy's world class. Do you know what I mean? When you've got players like that, you're always going to be able to win games. And obviously, your defense is performing. That's been a frustrating thing as obviously a United fan and a rival that's wanting them to drop more points. When they have been dropping points, they haven't been conceding many. It's just been fine margins and a few players not performing. I think in terms of, I didn't say they've been found out. I think what they became was a little bit predictable. And you alluded to it there in terms of Trent. If your fullbacks don't have a good game or they're not performing well, either in attack or defense, you'll get found out because they go so far up the pitch. They leave so much space in behind them. So they're having a bad game now and they're not delivering in the crosses and the passing. It became very predictable. It'd go to Trent, it'd just whip it in. Go to Trent, it'd just whip it in. And I thought it was very easy for teams to defend against. So I may have said something like that because against Burnley, them guys must have been like, yo, we'll take this all day long, keep whipping it in at us and we'll just keep clearing it. So I thought you became very predictable. But one of the things that may be working in Liverpool's favour at the moment is teams are playing them now and thinking, we can get at these. So they're committing more men forward. And as you've seen with that goal for Salah, like that goal was different class. It reminded me of like a Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez kind of goal against Arsenal. Like the passing and the first touch was insane. Salah's like a Bruno in terms of, you know, when he doesn't score, he can look like he's had an absolute stinker because he'll be trying things and they're not coming off and all that. But when he gets it right, he's winning games on his own and he does it more often than not. And what is he, top goal scorer?
He is, yeah. I mean, Calvert-Lewin and Kane. Yeah. No, you know what, Adam? Yeah, like I said, I don't remember correctly. So yeah, what you said coming back into my mind again. Yeah, it made good sense there what you're saying, and I think that's been Liverpool's problem since the last 2-3 years, where it's always been us winning games, getting points, 97 points, 99 points last season, and the goals dried up. And the crap thing about Liverpool was defensively, they didn't have obviously the players to keep out those goals. Obviously, we were winning games 1-0. You know, West Brom came back into the game. Southampton won by a goal to 0. And then the goals obviously dried up. So I do agree. And obviously, as Ibs also said as well, when Trent and Salah are playing a great game, I mean, Trent was fantastic against Tottenham. And I thought defensively he was good as well. But the league is by fine margins. This is the way that it's gone so far. And yeah, fair play to us. But I'm buzzing. I'm just so happy. I'm just so proud of the players when they have so many players out. And to win the game against a tough West Ham side. But I gotta say, I was a bit confused on how West Ham set up. I just felt they could have got us, and they didn't. And I think at 1-0 they tried to, and obviously they got hurt with the second goal.
But you lot played a diamond in this game, innit?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I don't think I can't remember seeing you that play that recently. And
yeah.
I think that helped you just keep. You didn't give them the ball. I mean, you got people like Thiago and that just knocking it about. It was very difficult for them to get on the ball and that. So, yeah, everyone's getting used to Thiago as well. That's what people don't get. Some of the passes that he's trying, people ain't even reading them at the moment.
Yeah. Well, Thiago's actually moved slightly higher up in the midfield, and Wijnaldum's playing as a DM. So that's something that Liverpool have changed as well, and they've got those 2 wins. And we'll quickly wrap up about Liverpool. I'm just going to ask the simple question.
That's good.
Do Liverpool have enough to reclaim their title? Just simple yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
They're still, for me, they're still the team to beat.
You don't think City now?
I mean, I think if City get through their next 6 games and win 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6, then they should walk the title. And I mean walk the title as in I think they've only got Chelsea after that, because I think they've got Tottenham, Arsenal, United, and Liverpool in the next 6 maybe. They've got a lot of hard games, but if they get through 5 out of 6 of them with a win, then I see them walking it. But this league is very unpredictable. So I mean, next week you might be talking about someone else.
Yeah, I think Liverpool. The answer to the question is, can they in it? I think yes, but I don't think they're the favourites. I think City are. Or I think if City win their game in hand, 7 points clear, right?
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's a lot to make up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm sitting on the fence, but it's difficult without the centre half coming in, and they've got to get one in tomorrow. I mean, boy, we're linked in Mustafi. I don't know how it's come to this.
I mean, you can take him if you want. No, I mean, I won't be too upset if I'm honest.
Hold on. Would you want Mustafi or was it called Nat Phillips or whatever his name is?
Nat Phillips.
You said you have Nat Phillips.
Yeah.
What, you'd want him over a World Cup winner? You sure?
Surely you'd rather develop, like, it's not shown that Nat Phillips hasn't stanked the place out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he was looking shaky and that, I'd probably think. But then if Mustafi comes in, he's probably playing alongside him at the moment because there's about 3 of them out in it.
Exactly.
So,
Well, yeah,
like you probably need the 2, and then you can play Henderson in midfield. And not that I want them to, because they'll be better, but like,
yeah. At
you
the moment,
but I'd rather, if you say either or, I'd rather develop Nat Phillips into, like, give him the games and give Mustafi.
100%.
Yeah. At the moment, it's obviously Nat Phillips, Hendo, and Fabinho who's injured. So one more is definitely needed for Liverpool, and time will tell who they'll get tomorrow. Basically, I think it looks like they are going to get someone, and hopefully we'll see. Right, we'll come on to the next topic, and it's talking about Chelsea now. They've obviously appointed Thomas Tuchel on Monday. He's played 2 games, 0-0 against Wolves, but they beat Burnley by 2-0, goals from Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso. For a long time since we've seen him play. A great goal from him as well. Frank Lampard sacked. Was it a surprise? I don't think it was, the way that the Chelsea owners run the club. What are you boys thinking then about Thomas Tuchel's appointment? Is he the right man? And what needs to be done for Chelsea to get them challenging in the top 4 or for the title race, if there even is one?
Time will tell with Tuchel. Like, Chelsea have always had this sort of, the new manager comes in, everyone's spirits are up. They go hard for the next 6 months, 7 months. And are they title challengers, this and that? We've seen this Chelsea story before. So with him, I think once again, you just got to give him a year to see what he's doing. Obviously, the Chelsea players are coming with a new system now, whatnot, playing, the likes of Callum wingback and stuff like that, which people didn't really expect. So I guess the next 6 months for him will be finding out, what type of players he wants to move forward with, formation-wise, etc., etc. Because there's no really, I say there's no pressure on him, but you have to let him settle at the end of the day. You've got to give him these next few months to settle down, to find his feet. But we've seen this with Chelsea anyway. They change so many managers. New manager comes in. It was the same with Frank. Like, Frank came in, top 4, and yeah, Frank is the this and that. And next thing you know, the balloon just popped. So for me, just let him settle, give him a year, and then we can talk more about him moving forward.
Ibs, I want to come on to you because we put a video out on Instagram on our channel where before the season you predicted this was going to happen.
Yep.
So Ibs, do you think Thomas Tuchel is the right man then? And how much do you echo what coach is saying?
I think it's weird to say, is he the right man? Because I always feel with Chelsea, whether it's Hiddink, Benitez, or a permanent manager, they're the right person, but are they the long-term person? And with Chelsea, we know how it is. If your results go against you, it's not going to work. I think that's probably why he signed an 18-month contract with an option of a year. And that's probably why they put it in there as well, just in case he gets sacked. They don't have to give him a big payoff. He's a manager who demands a lot from his players. He doesn't mind making noise about the board. So I'm not sure how that will go if transfers don't come in, etc. in the summer. But he's got them playing. It's that new manager bounce, that new manager feeling. Everyone wants to perform and start playing again. So it could work. He's won leagues, as we know, in PSG, which is not the hardest thing to do, but it still gives him something to have on his CV. He did all right at Dortmund as well. He could get the young boys playing, but he needs a window or two to implement his stuff. But I think it could work. Whether or not they'll get top 4 is a different thing. But I think he could challenge for like the FA Cup. And the thing is, they could probably now look at the Atletico Madrid game and think they might have a chance because, it's someone new and maybe the system might be able to help them. But we've just got to see how it is. I agree with Coach. Just got to see how the next 6 to 12 months go. Because with Chelsea, they're so turbulent, you just never really know what you're going to get. Because now even like Alonso's back in the frame, but 3 weeks ago, he couldn't even probably get on the team sheet. So it's something new and they'll probably benefit from it. It's just how the season plays out now.
I think early doors, I've seen that they've played Azpilicueta, Rudiger, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. So these 3 players, it looks like he certainly rates. And I know in Germany, they definitely think highly of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and rightly so. Obviously, Bayern Munich being linked in the past. So it's an interesting one, I think, about Thomas Tuchel. I think time will tell how it goes. Very early, I think the Wolves game, Wolves sit back, Burnley, but I think Burnley had their first attempt on the 93rd minute, which was crazy. So fair play to Chelsea. They dominated that game. They've got Spurs away on the Thursday. But I actually want to ask you something, Adam, because I've seen you a couple of videos before where you were talking about Lampard and the bit of the media coverage. You know, he usually gets away with quite a few things. I do think there's some context onto it. But are you surprised that Lampard is gone, or I mean, do you think it was the right move for Chelsea that he's left?
100%. I think it was. And look, obviously, Chelsea fans are going to, well, some of them are going to be cut up because it's their boy, and I can totally appreciate that. Like, if Cantona or Beckham or even Oli to a certain extent, if he gets sacked, it's going to hurt Manchester United fans because he's someone that we like and we love. You still have to be, you have to have some clarity in why the decision's happening, and also look at the history that's gone before it, because it will usually be, you know, an indicator of what's going to happen in the future. And it was obvious that he probably could have got sacked earlier. I think of his cup run last year, and obviously getting top four, Leicester dropping out of the top four really helped him. And, you know, the no transfer window and playing a few youngsters and all that kind of stuff helped them as well. But I always thought he'd get found out eventually. I was never really infused by what he did at Derby either. And I'm not someone that just dislikes him because he's Frank Lampard, but I thought it was a bit of a head scratcher anyway. So for them to bring in someone like Thomas Tuchel is obviously a massive, massive step up. And I think what you'll find is, you see when things ain't maybe going right or there's a few bad results, the players are less likely to turn on Tuchel because he's got a proven track record. When Frank Lampard's trying to get them to do stuff and the results aren't coming, older players especially are going to respond to that in a negative manner. We saw it under David Moyes. Like, Mason Mount reminded me of Januzaj under Moyes. Like, he was the only one that responded to him because he thought, this is my chance, like, to play for Man United, obviously in Mason Mount's case, Chelsea. And they got a response from them. Obviously with Tuchel, he's got the benefit of being able to have this kind of 6-month grace period or whatever it is to the end of the season to get them used to his style of play, because in the Premier League, he hasn't got the benefit of France where you can beat most teams every week. Like, no matter how you play, if you get it tactically wrong, you'll be all right as long as Mbappe and Neymar show up. Like, now he's got a more competitive league, and if he doesn't get it right quick, there could be like big calls early on. Like, we could be here this time next year talking about someone else as the manager. Do you know what I mean? So the competition in the Premier League could kind of scupper him a little bit, especially because at Chelsea you're judged on winning trophies. Like, at Man United, Oli could have got a little bit more grace period because we try to give our managers a little bit more time. Do you know what I mean? Even if it doesn't always go the right way, we try to do that. Chelsea have never done that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Adam. I do feel Lampard in his first year did deserve credit, because without the transfer ban, and I know he got the job because he had the transfer ban, but for him to be into the Champions League, I think he did a good job. But simple fact is, we all know this, whether Chelsea fans want to dispute it or not, it's all about the results business for them. And they lose 5 or 6 games. It only was about 5 to 8 games anyway, and then he got the sack. And it's no surprise to me that it's happened.
But he lost the dressing room, I think, as well. Like, you know, at United, they're less likely to sack Oli because there's no one's really coming out against him. Like, he seemed to lose a lot of players. And when that happens, like Oli will piss people off because he'll come out and say, the lads, you know, they tried today in front of the public, even though we know he's talking shit. And then in the dressing room, he'll probably bollock them. Mm-hmm. Lampard didn't do that. He kept calling them out, and that don't go well. We've seen it with Mourinho.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I did read something that Rudiger, was one of the main players who caused a bit of friction. So I'm surprised at him for someone who wanted to leave. So yeah, I definitely had some players unhappy. I can get what you're saying there, Adam. But I think the job was too early for Lampard anyway. And whether he goes to a club like Newcastle or Palace or even maybe Celtic or something, to go there and do well and then come back to Chelsea in a few years' time when he's got experience, that might be the fairy tale that Chelsea fans wanted. But for sure, I think it was coming, and I think all 4 of us can probably say, yeah, we're not surprised at the thing. And they've done him dirty, Chelsea, and that's how they've done it.
I was surprised at the timing of it. That's what I was surprised at. I was surprised that, I mean, could they have waited for Tuchel in the summer? They could have waited for him, but I guess, once again, like Adam said, they're probably going to give him this grace period. They said, come in January, settle yourself down, get the players, possibly one or two you might get in, might go out in the summer, and then you're ready to go. Instead of waiting to the summer and then getting him in, and then he's got to give him another 6 months to bed in. It's too late. So I guess that's why the decision's made. And Abramovich, against what he normally does, he put out a statement about managers. He don't really care when he sacks managers because he leaves other people in charge. But Lampard is his boy as well. Like, he knows what Lampard's done for the club. So even him coming out of a statement, I think it was of, listen, Frank, I like you, but as a player, you were great. But as a manager, I've got to keep it consistent. Other managers will get sacked for what you're doing, and it's time for us to move on. You know, that's why he put the statement out there, just to let Frank know that, listen, it's no hard feelings, it's just business. This is how the managerial world is. You just got to get used to it. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what job he gets next, though. Like
his privilege, man. He'll get any job he wants. He'll get a good, like, Harry Redknapp just needs to make a few phone calls for him. It's not like
another thing.
Chris Hughton, where it's the only way he's down. Like, his drop off will be like you mentioned, Newcastle or Celtic. Like, he'll get a cushy job. Like, he came out, didn't he come out talking about a month ago about people say I'm privileged and that. No, I'm not. There's more pressure on me because of you. And I was thinking, no way. You have no self-awareness at all.
I mean, the fact that Lampard, for me, once again, his uncle even exposed him again. Like, he stopped talking to Harry. Harry will talk too much and start saying the stuff that you've told him in the background. When he came out and said, well, I don't even know if he actually chose those players, actually, you know, the two German lads and this, I'm just like, just shut up. Even if he didn't, and he probably told you that in a private conversation, and we probably know anyway, but it's just, don't say those things, Harry. Just keep it shut. So basically, you've just said, listen, Frank didn't want those players. So the fact that he got sacked for it and other people are buying players that he didn't want, you know, it's not Frank's fault, is it? It's the players. They've let him down and whatnot. So, but when Sky Sports keep asking Harry questions about him and then his cousin, Jamie Redknapp, about him, it's just like, what answer are you going to get? You're not going to get he wasn't good enough. You're going to get the players weren't fighting for him. The players need to stand up and stuff. But when it's Solskjaer or Arteta or somebody else, oh, well, you know, we need to look at their position. You know, they got to get results. So he's definitely privileged, especially in this country anyway.
I'm going to wrap up the Chelsea talk quickly. Simple yes or no for this one again. Thomas Tuchel, getting Chelsea into the top four, yes or no?
This season?
Yeah.
The possibility again if Leicester mess up, because they seem like they could be the most likely if Leicester mess up, but not this season. But he will eventually.
I'm going to say no as well.
Okay, coach.
Yes.
You're going to say yes? Okay, wow. Wow. All right, I'll say yes as well, just about. But I'd love to see Brendan Rodgers and his side getting into the top four, but time will tell. We're going to move on, boys, quickly, because we're running out of time. We're going to talk about the big game on the weekend. It ended 0-0 between Arsenal and Manchester United. Two big chances from Cavani in the second half. Did something happen that? Okay, I better put the
Sorry, bro. Brighton hit the post. My bad.
Hit the post. You're going to have to update me. Yeah, Man United drew 0-0 away at the Emirates. Cavani, two big chances. Pepe had two chances as well. Lacazette hit the woodwork. It wasn't the type of game where Man United played Liverpool and Manchester City. It was a tight game. Could have been 1-1 or 2-2 on another day. We'll talk about the recap about that. Ibs, we'll start off with you on an Arsenal perspective before we talk a bit deep into detail about Man United. We've had a tough week. What are your thoughts on the game?
If I'm honest, and this is me being frank, I'm a bit disappointed that Arsenal didn't win. And the reason I say that is because I felt that, especially in the second half, to be fair, over it, I thought we controlled it. And United were always going to score either on a counter-attack or, you know, a mistake of such. And they did have the chances. You know, Rashford, I felt he could have toe-punted it instead of trying to do a Cruyff. I felt Fernandez's one in the first half, you know, that another given day that goes in. Obviously, you've mentioned the Cavani chances, but I just felt that Arsenal really played well. For the absentees we had, I thought Pepe was one of our better players. I thought Lacazette had another good game, and again, he could have hit the net instead of the bar. From an Arsenal perspective, I'm not disappointed. We've got 4 points off United. For me, that's fine. That's really good. If we pick up points elsewhere, then there's no reason why Arsenal can't, have a strong finish of the season. I still feel like there's tweaks with the team that needs to be done. When Aubameyang's back, when Saka's back, it's good to have selection headache. Arteta hasn't had one for a while. So I'm satisfied with the result, but I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't win. And yeah, I can't complain. We've had a good week, Arsenal, personally. I just felt the result was probably a bit disappointing for me, but we didn't lose and we kept a clean sheet as well. Arsenal are starting to pick up clean sheets, which is very important. We've conceded Bar City, we've conceded the least amount of goals, along with Tottenham, which is only 20. So for me, that's improvement from the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, where usually we concede a lot. So if we can sort out the attacking side of things, then yeah, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. So I mean, I sense the United guys are going to go on for hours and hours. But from my point of view, I'm genuinely satisfied with what Arteta's doing, with what he's building. Having faith in him is what we need to do. So for me, I'm satisfied.
You don't sound sure about that faith,
I am. No, because I tell you why. I've been Arteta in. As soon as he come, I've been Arteta in. I will never diss the guy. I will never say Arteta out. I've been on with that guy. And he's working in ways that I'm really enjoying. The fact that we can keep clean sheets and we're not looking so suspect at the back is fine for me. Everything else will happen in time. I can't lie. I've had a decent week from an Arsenal perspective. I'm just going to let you lot run.
Arsenal have done well in the last... Sorry, Coach. I was going to say Arsenal have done really well in the last 2 games to get 4 points out of 6. I just felt if they had slightly more quality on the pitch, they might have troubled Manchester United. They could have.
Yeah, I felt so as well. I felt if we had like a Saka, I think if Saka played, it just gives you a different dimension. And even when Willian had his chance, like for me, if he just rolls the ball on the top of his foot, it gives him that momentum to then put his foot behind it. But the fact that he was trying to shoot with it under, like it's those chances there that we might have been able to take 3 points and then you'd even get happy in me. So I feel like the quality in some areas just need a bit of tweaking, but the progress we're making, even signing Odegaard in like a couple of days ago, it just gives us another dimension. So I'm happy.
Ibs are more happier for Arsenal to be getting a couple of points. They got Wolverhampton Wanderers on Tuesday. So yeah, fair enough, Ibs. Thanks for the input there.
No worries.
We're going to have to go with the Man United boys. It's been a tough week for Manchester United, of course. They lost by 2-1 at home to Sheffield United and, of course, drew 0-0 on Saturday evening. Coach, I'm going to speak to you quickly before I come to Adam, because last week you jokingly said it's not a big game for us. It was a big game. United didn't come out in the end to get the result or the goal. They had 2 or 3 chances, Rashford notably in the first half and Cavani late on in the second half. Where did it all go wrong for Man United in this game, before I ask you the question about what Carragher and Roy Keane said?
I just think that attitude, it's just... I don't know. These boys are just so frustrating sometimes. Like, it's just when I see the team sheet, no Saka, no Tierney, who else was missing? No Aubameyang. I'm looking at it like United, put your foot on the gas, as in like Arsenal players get no time on the ball. Yeah, Pepe. When I'm looking at Arsenal's front three as Pepe, Martinelli, and Lacazette, come on, United. Like put your foot on the gas and press these boys, put the impetus on the game. I don't know. It just looked like the game just ebbed and flowed. And even when it got to like the 60th minute, I'm not looking at the players that they're desperate to go for it. Like, guys, we got to nick a 1-0. Whatever it is, we got to nick a 1-0. We got to get up that field, nick a 1-0 and whatnot. I just think it was just the attitude. Like, and that's just a whole. Like, we can pick out players and whatnot, but I don't think anyone played well. I was looking at the game thinking, imagine Saka was playing. And even that hurts. Because if Saka was playing and he gets on the end of some of these opportunities, we would get punished. And that's a 19-year-old kid and whatnot. So for me, from a United perspective, from minute one, like just the attitude, I thought, Sheffield United, those games happen. Yeah, those games happen. Like they've happened in the past. We lost against Derby, one chopping those guys, and Sunderland and all these. We've lost games like that, cool. But it's all about the reaction. what you do after it. You know, if there's a problem, solve it. We had a problem against Sheffield United. Great. We got 3 days. We ain't got to think about it too much. Let's go to Arsenal. Automatically, I thought we'd be up for Arsenal anyway, because it's just Arsenal. But it just looked like we were just going, too many players were just going through the motions. And I don't know, man. That game just petered out for me towards the end. It just petered out, 0-0. It was just like, okay, cool. Let's just move on. So my thing was the attitude from minute one. That was my thing.
Adam, you want to say anything to add on to that?
I thought my overall feeling yesterday was like, should have took our chances. But I did feel that way in certain parts of the game, not particularly from minute one, because I get it. It's a big game. Do you know what I mean? If you go for the kill, you get hit, you fucked early doors. Like, I get that. But like, there was certain moments in the game, like where we were having opportunities, the Cavani ones and stuff. And yes, we should have taken them another day. You do take them. But we never really kept going for it. And I think the major problem for us at the moment is that we're playing a Fred and McTominay. Like, we can't play a one. Like, we haven't got one person to do that, bro. So we're having to play Fred and McTominay. And I know McTominay came off early doors, but we just need a 6 that can do that job. And it's so vital that in the summer we get one, because in these big games, if you can play a number 6 just there on his own, like a Matic 5 years ago, and then you can add an extra 8 in there, you just have a little bit more going forward. And I thought it was a game to get an extra body in that attack. That's why I was a bit frustrated that when McTominay went off, like, we didn't bring Donny van der Beek on to just push it further forward a little bit, because we stayed the way we were going. But at the same time, I feel more frustrated about this result because of the drop points against Sheffield United. You know what I mean? Before the Sheffield United game, I thought, win this one, draw against Arsenal, it's not that bad of a week. But once we lost that game, we had to be going for it. And that's why I agree, like, we had to be showing a little bit more, especially like in the final 15. I know we had some big chances, but Arsenal were happy with the point at that point. And there was passages of play. The one that sticks in my mind was one after like 90. It was in the 90th minute or so. There was basically an injury around 90 minutes. So the extra time didn't start till 93rd minute anyway. So we still had 3 minutes to go, and we had the ball. And for about 45 seconds, we kept it in the defensive third. And I'm thinking, where's the urgency to go forward here and just create that one extra chance? Because we seem to be able to create them. So that was the major frustrating thing for me. Like, just not in certain parts of the game when it was there to be taken, grab the game by the scruff of the neck. We didn't. But some of the chances that we had, like,
I mean, we
did. some of the chances that, like, Cavani, bro, you got to score one of them. Rashford either hit it first time. Like, I disagree with a lot of people. Have like, he had to hit it first time. After that, the shot went because there was so many bodies in front of him. I got it. Like, but like, sometimes your decision making just needs to be better, man. And he's been lucky. He's still got 15 goals, 10 assists this season, but I don't think his form's been great apart from that Liverpool game. So it's just moments, man. And I think that's where this team isn't lacking that confidence that you see Liverpool and City approach these bigger games with, where they go into it thinking, we're winning today. There's no go on, sorry.
One of the things I was going to point out as well, I just think I don't know, they're both on kind of good form, but I think a dilemma, Shahab, with us as well, and I see it, is what Adam was saying in terms of, because we don't have that DM that we can just leave in the middle and let the other ones play free. Because we don't have that, we have to go with McTominay and Fred and those guys there who have to do the job together. Now, until in the summer we address that, I think Ollie's got a big decision moving forward in terms of that number 10 role. You know, you heard me last time. I was frustrated that Pogba's stuck on the wing. I think he's useless out there. If he's going to be stuck on the wing, you got to be ballsy enough to say, you know what, you're not going to play. Bruno's going to play. And I think right now it's either or. Unless we're playing like a Fulham or someone like that, in most games, I think right now we have to play the 2 in midfield. You guys win the ball and just give it off. Give it off to the 2 wingers, the striker, the number 10. Just do your job. Yeah, until we get into the summer, maybe we'll find a DM. For me, I think Pogba and Bruno right now, I'm not sure they can play together, because when we lose the ball, the transition, how easy Arsenal and every other team plays against us, They break us down too easy with them two in there. They break like Bruno's.
I think that's down to Fred and McTominay though, because their distribution is whack. Like there's so many times the ball doesn't come. Whereas when you do get it, like if you see when Matic and Pogba play, I know you're saying you don't like Pogba on the wing in it, but when Matic and Pogba play, like the distribution's so much better. Obviously, Pogba's not great. I think he did that because Martial needed to be dropped in it. Like I think that was the only reason. But we're suffering when Rashford's not there on the left as well.
Yeah.
And you're right in that sense, like you can't keep forcing Pogba into that left or right position because you're losing that natural width. If you're going to do that, you may as well play a diamond. But I do think a lot of that yesterday came from, and in the remember Liverpool at Anfield?
Yeah.
And Fred and McTominay kept getting the ball, and every time we'd go to build up an attack, we just give it away. And it was like, we can't build nothing with them there.
But Adam, don't you think that's our more solid way of going forward until the summer?
Yeah, we have to. We have to. We have to. Because we can't play Matic every week. And I think Matic and Pogba is the best two that we have. Like, I think that's the best two, but Matic can't play every week. So yeah, I do.
But even a flat two, is predictable. I think it's predictable. A flat two predictable. I like what Adam's saying in terms of one DM and we've got two pivots. It's very flexible like that. But when we've got the two square of each other, then we've got the number 10 in front. I think it becomes certain games, it becomes too predictable and whatnot. And sometimes we get found out that way. Like I like Pogba further up the field. I know he can distribute like a quarterback because he's got long range passing, short range pass. He can do it all. He can travel with the ball and that. But I just like him when he's further forward. When he's back there, sometimes he just gets found out defensively. And I think I look at United's game a lot on the defensive side. I know we've got match winners. We've got 3 or 4 match winners that any given moment they can do something special. But as a whole, as a
Brian scored.
So for me, United defensively, I'll keep banging on this drum. We don't have an identity defensively. I don't know if we're a pressing team. I don't know if we're a low block team. I think Solskjaer has to find that identity because we've got a few players that can do it, but they don't do it 100%. That's what I feel. Even against Arsenal, they play.
You know what though, as well. I know we're disappointed in it, but I'm an optimist, so you know I look at it this way. But you know, a lot of it, I don't know if it's just we went 13 games unbeaten in it. Sheffield United, that happened. That was shit. But like a draw against Arsenal isn't really the end of the world, isn't it? And like I think see how we get on now. That's the talent thing. I think we'll go on another run. I genuinely think we'll go on another run of about 8-9 games where we don't lose.
Do you trust these players, Adam?
I do, but I don't think. I think there's key areas where we need to fix it to balance it out. Like I know we're going to talk about it in a bit. If we had a right winger now, like Martial gets dropped as soon as he hits bad form, and he's coming in trying to fight for his place. He's not forced to play through his bad form. Do you know what I mean? And he's just stinking the place out even more. Like we need that right winger. It looks like we need a centre half if Bailly can't play every game because without him, our defence ain't the one. Yeah. And we need that DM. So there's 3 key areas we need to fix. But I do trust these players in a sense. I just don't think we're the finished article yet. And I think there's a long way to go in our progression as a team that is, because people accuse Ollie of having no style of play. I think there is a clear style of play. The problem with our style of play is we create our chances when we play very well, but we always concede chances. Yeah. And that is down to, I think, personnel. Again, your DM and your centre. When Bailly starts, you see that goal against Sheffield United, the second one. It's not happening with Bailly in the team. It just doesn't happen. I'm convinced that don't happen. Like he's the perfect foil for Harry Maguire. So I think there's key areas we need quality in. But I'm hoping that a little bit of these performances has been the accumulation of games because we have been the most consistent team for that period in the league. Like that's why we went from we were like 5 points behind Liverpool, like 5-6 points, and then we're like, I know it's only a point now, but there was a big swing. Like so, I think those games are just caught up with us. At least I hope so. I'm trying to be optimistic.
I don't trust most of these players anyway. But
We got trust issues as well, you know. That's a problem.
yeah,
We've been sold dreams for about 7-8 years now, and every time we think we get there, there's a setback. But I have a confidence in this team to respond, and I think in the bigger games, there's been a lot of talk about the big six, and I don't buy into it really, because what is the big six? Do you know what I mean? How are Spurs in there, but Leicester aren't? But like, I think a lot of that is I think Ollie's gone a little bit more cautious in those games. Like, I just think it's a natural. Once we got battered 6-1 by Spurs, I think he's gone a bit cautious in those games, and we need to change that, I suppose.
yeah, let's go.
I obviously listened to you guys talk about the bigger picture about Manchester United, and fair enough to you guys. I think as the game went on, personally, before I come to something else, it was tight. It wasn't the type of 0-0 games that we saw United draw in the past against Liverpool and Chelsea and Man City, who they played this season. It was tight. And I think what United have done really well this season is they've always found a way to win the games. In fact, where Liverpool actually did at a point. So that's why, you know, like the Pogba goal against Fulham, Burnley as well, they found a way to get the results. Aston Villa also. And I think probably to an extent, the performance caught up with them against, like, obviously Sheffield United and Arsenal. So it's an interesting one with Man United. I was going to ask the question of what you made of the guys at Sky, their comments on Man United and their title race. I will come on to that in a second. But I'm intrigued because, well, Carragher said, I'll come on to it in a second, Adam. But I wanted to come on because if you've listened before, Adam, there's someone, Kev, shout out to him. He was saying that he feels United's defense is a slight issue, and coach is the opposite. He feels like maybe the attack needs to be a bit more sharper.
No. My thing is the whole team defensively needs to be better. The whole team from the front all the way to the back. So as a collective.
And I wanted to come on to one of the players who's been a massive. He scored 15 goals, I think, last season, and he's really struggled this year. Now I'm intrigued to know why that is the case. Anthony Martial. Now, I've been told that one of you likes him more than the other. Yep. So what have you guys made of him then, not performing at that level? Because we've got the young kid, Greenwood, who's a fantastic finisher. He really is. Still young. What's the crack with him? Why is he not playing well anymore?
Adam, I'll let you go on this one first.
Tony Marshall, I think last year, obviously, Player of the Year, so he had a good season. This season, from the start, he never quite got going. With his finishing at the start, because I think at the start his performances were good, but his finishing was awful, and that's unlike him. So at the start I was there thinking, this geezer's finishing some mess. Like, at the moment, pre-season, he'll get there. He hasn't had a pre-season. I'm waiting for it to come, and gradually as the season's gone on, his performances have got worse and worse and worse, and it's like he's got into his own head. Like, mentally he's not there at the moment. Sometimes you see him in games and the game passes him by. Like, he'll be lost in a space and he won't be quite active. Now, I have seen a little bit of a reaction in recent weeks where he has been trying to demand and do things more. But I just think he needed to be challenged at a time, and he kept playing through his bad form and he's never recovered from it. Now, a lot of people have written him off. I haven't written him off, but I do think the next 6 months for him are a huge turning point in his career, like a huge turning point, because if he can respond and react and make it look like this was just a blip, I think there's still a player there to be had. And I still think he's a fantastic player there, but it's a crucial point because he could become a squad player or he could become the main man. And I think at the moment he's showing that he's going to be a squad player. He's going to be a backup for a main striker, and he needs to grasp the nettle again. I think he will, but I think he needs to be dropped and challenged, because at the moment he's playing, and his goal scoring's not getting any better. Playing on the left, he's still getting judged on his goals as a striker, and he's not working. We're playing Rashford on the right, out of position. Like, play Rashford in his position and let Marshall fight for his spot back. But I've seen strikers go through these periods before. That's why I'm hesitant to write him off. I've seen it happen before to strikers, and then they get one and then they'll be back at it again. And I'm hoping that's the case with him.
Coach, your turn.
Well, listen, for me, you know, listen, when we speak in our football group, you know how I feel about Martial. I think mentally, he needs to become stronger, and someone just needs to be real with him. Mentally needs to become stronger. For me, you got the number 9 got taken off you, and even people were backing him when the number 9 got taken off him and given to Ibrahimovic. Cool, no problem. What's Ollie done? Ollie's reversed it as soon as he's come, giving him a text or a call, like Martial said. Do you want this number 9 shirt again? Yes, I want this number 9 shirt. For me, he's grabbed that number 9 shirt, and once again, just before Ollie's come, same way Ollie's here, it's just inconsistencies. People are talking about Cavani, like people were criticizing me in the group. Oh, well, if Rashford misses and Cavani missed yesterday, you're not getting on to Cavani. I am not looking for Cavani to be our hero or our savior. I am definitely not looking for Cavani to be our number 1 striker. He's 33 years old. He should be our Henrik Larsson. That's what Cavani needs to be. But based on his work rate and his mentality, he's now our main striker at 33 years old. It's supposed to be the other way round. He's supposed to be backing up Martial. I know for a fact that Ollie gave Martial that number 9 shirt, wanting him to be the main striker because he knows how good he can be. And the reason why I'm on Martial's back so much, he's been blessed with so much talent. Like, it's unreal. Like, if someone told me when he first came on the scene, in a few years, he could be the best player in the world, I could believe them. Straight away, I could believe them. And that's what frustrates me about Martial. It's not that I dislike him or anything like that. It's just that he's got so much to give and he just plays within his shell. And for me, what Adam said, that the next 6 months, he's either going to be a squad player or a first team player. For me, he's a squad player already. That's what I feel. But like Adam said, he's playing through bad form, which he shouldn't have to if we have the adequate players there to replace him and whatnot. But I just feel with Martial mentally, the thing about him, you will drop him, and I just see his reaction. He takes it as, I don't know. I don't take his reactions as a positive one. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I can do. I take it as, oh, you don't like me. Oh, I'm not playing. I'm not a first teamer. Because I don't have to have a conversation with him about it. I can tell by his performances and whatnot. When Cavani comes out, because Cavani's 33 years old and you've been given the chance to go and reclaim being the first choice striker, he doesn't do it. So guess what Ollie has to do? Martial, go to the left. Martial, go to the right. Or wherever he's playing, just go over there. That's how Ollie's managing right now, because I think even Ollie's so disappointed in him in terms of giving him the number 9 shirt and whatnot. Not scoring. Werner's not scoring. So I'm not even fussed about him not scoring, because form, it happens to all strikers. Yeah, you're not going to score every single time. But for me, his attitude and work rate, for me, you need to subsidize that. If you're not scoring, you're subsidizing it. That's why a lot of people, they talk about Werner at Chelsea, but they always talk about Werner's work rate. He gets into the same positions. He gets them chances. So they're not on his back as much. Whereas when it's Martial, like Adam was saying, certain players, when he has a bad game, everything just drops. It's not, oh, I've had a bad game. I've missed a couple chances, but my work rate's been there. And that's my thing with Martial. Like, there's no medium with him.
He suffers from the Berbatov syndrome a bit, doesn't he? Where if Berbatov had a stinker, it looked like he was walking around the pitch.
But who's he with?
Like, no, but that's how Martial could, like, if you look at him, like if Rashford's having a bad game, you look at him and he's just running around, so you think, all right, he's trying to. Now, I think that's a little bit unfair but he needs to, I think there needs to be he needs to grasp the moment, man. Like, he just needs to grasp it. But that's how I feel. Gary Neville said it as well, like, and I agree with him. But I do think there's a little bit creeps in that's unfair with Martial, because I've seen him in some games this season, bro. Play well, have good parts of the game, link up everything. And then after the game, everyone's on his case because he didn't score. And I get it. He needs to be judged on goals as a number 9. That's why people rip Firmino at times, because when you're a number 9 for a big club, you get judged on your goals. But I do think there's been times when his performances, and just because he looks a bit like that, people give it to him more. I was a big fan of Berbatov as well, but like, I see similar things in him, but he needs to be tested and he needs to be playing at 9 and not be pushed out on the left, because it's not helping nobody. It's not helping Marcus. It's not helping him. And it's not challenging him. Like, look at Ali. If Ali ever went through a 5-game spell, he's not scoring. Bro, in fact, you don't get a chance to go through a 5-game spell when you're not scoring.
Yeah.
And at the moment, or when at least at the start, he was the only one that was playing in number 9. So I do feel he needs to be challenged a bit as well in that sense.
But in terms of when you're saying Berbatov, yeah, was Berbatov, how many years did Berbatov spend at United? How long did we tolerate him for? How long?
I didn't mean...
He's been there 6 seasons. 6.
I meant in the sense that I didn't compare them as players. I mean in the sense that their how they look outwardly,
Languid.
it makes people judge them.
Yeah.
Which I think at times, like in that game against, I think it was Sheffield United. Yeah, I seen people like ripping into him and that, like, oh, he don't care and that. And at one point, I seen him pass the ball out wide, run into the box. The ball never coming, and he was like, "Fuck!" Like he clearly cares. Like I just think he needs to maybe show it a bit more in it. Like he's in his head, bro. Mentally, like it's his mental.
Yes.
It's his mental.
Yes.
He's a very much a confidence player. But I also slightly disagree with the inconsistency thing. You say he's been here 6 years. His first season, he was number 9. He was our top goal scorer. Yeah. Last season, he was number 9. He was our top goal scorer. In between that, for Oli, at the start of Oli, he was class. For Jose just didn't like him. Whenever he played for Jose, he was delivering. He had that 6-month period where he was 10 goals, 10 assists from the left. Jose dropped him for Alexis. So I do think it's a little bit.
So does that sound like
fair to say he was inconsistent? Say that again.
How you just explained that in different increments? There was 6 months here and then Oli started.
Well, he's a young lad though as well, isn't it? Like a lot of that period. No, he's not now, so I'm not judging him as a young lad now. So don't get that twisted. But for the first 3 years, 18, 19, 20, those are the development years. Like Rashford's had periods of time where he's been inconsistent. United on a whole have been inconsistent. And I do think he has shone despite United, like, not like, look at his goals, like most big games. He scored at Chelsea, Liverpool, City, big games. He scores in all these big games. Like, so I think it's just a case of he needs to mentally mature. And you see with Rashford, there's a difference. He looks like, this season, I'm getting 35 goals and no one's stopping me. And it fucks him up in a sense because there's times when there's passes on and he's doing step overs and like looking to shoot at that. And I'm thinking, bro, pass the ball. You see Marshall, he'll be in a position to shoot and he'll pass. Because I do think he's not greedy enough as well.
So can that be our number 9 to fire us to a title?
That's the thing. He needs to fix up mentally.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's all mental with me, Marshall. It's all mental.
I'm gonna wrap it up there. That's the question you've asked, Coach, and that's what I'm gonna leave for the Man United fans.
Tony Marshall will be back, though. Trust me, he'll be back.
Okay, cool. Man United fans, let me know in the comments below, man. Are you agreeing with Adam? Are you agreeing with Coach? Is it a bit of both? It's an interesting one. He's certainly dried up for him, and time will tell how it goes, really. So wrap up that topic. We're going to spend 5 minutes on this, maybe less, because we're running out of time. The comments that Carragher and Roy Keane made. So Adam, I'll tell you briefly what they've said. So Roy Keane felt that Man United were frightened to get the result, similar to Liverpool at Anfield, and then Carragher followed on by saying, yeah, if I was a United fan, I'd probably been angry because of the results that they had against Sheffield United. And he basically echoed on that point. And if you heard what he said on Monday Night Football with Neville a few days ago, actually echoed that same saying as well. And he said that they almost believe that Man United were kind of surprised at what position that they're in, and they don't believe that they can go and fight for the league title. Time will tell what will happen, of course. I'm going to come to Ibs first before I come on to you two. I can echo what both of them are saying. I do feel, look, the Liverpool game at Anfield, I think they could have come out of us, and they could have got the winner in the end. Obviously, Pogba and Bruno in the last 10 minutes, but it was too late for me. And I just felt, Liverpool dried up with the chances. They weren't creating much. Firmino had a few half chances. He didn't put them away. Liverpool not in the game. And I feel like Arsenal, again, so many injuries, or 3 of their big players out at least. They couldn't get the winner. Yes, on another day, they could have won 1-0. And obviously the Sheffield United position as well. So I do feel like, why can't Manchester United go for it and get the winner? And I know that it's been a frustrating thing in that sense, but it's an interesting season, really. Liverpool, are not at the level that they were, obviously, for many other reasons. Leicester, they've lost, 6-7 games as it's gone. And Manchester City, yes, they are finding the form, but it's a strange season. It's a COVID season. Why can't Manchester United go and challenge the league title? And I actually do echo what Carragher and Keane saying. Simple reason being is they are playing a makeshift Liverpool side and obviously a weaker Arsenal side. So it was interesting. And the question really I was asked on the agenda was, have they blown their chance? They haven't blown their chance. They've still got time to get where they need to be. And they've got 2 home games coming up. So time will tell. Ibs, do you agree with Roy Keane and Carragher then?
I think it's something that I mentioned last week about when we did the preview for the game. And I said that with Ollie, he doesn't want to lose these games. Now, if he gets a draw out of it, he'll take it. If he gets a win, like they could have snatched it with the Pogba chance at Anfield, on another given day, Cavani's got a brace and United fans are happy. I just don't. I think he's going into games. Wenger used to say it with a handbrake on. They just don't want to lose. As long as they do not lose the game, it's fine because they're still in the game. If they pick up 4 points off the big teams, they're fine. They should win the home games and draw the away games, as long as they don't lose. And I think that's what United are trying to figure out. Because I knew they would play McTominay and Fred. That's to not lose the midfield battle, but also that means you protect your defence, and if you can get a goal on the counter-attack, you see out the result. Even when Pogba came on, and it's been echoed in today's episode, there wasn't a change in how Pogba wasn't going forward enough. There wasn't an attacking move to say we could go at Arsenal, which you can be able to do. So I just feel like Ollie doesn't want to lose the games. So I can understand why Kara and Keane have said that. But it's something that maybe next season or the season after, they'll look to go into these games and control them and go into them a bit more attacking. Because if you do get a 6 or an 8, you play 1 instead of playing the 2, you're more attacking. You can go for the games and all that. But right now, I don't think he trusts his players to do that. So if he can play who he plays and gets a draw, it's a positive because it's not a negative. It's legit. You picked up a point away. They can snatch it because they can get the chances. But if they don't lose, Ollie's happy. It's for me kind of what Mourinho did at United and what Mourinho's been doing since he came into management. You don't ever want to lose your away games against the big teams. So if you can go there and not lose, he's happy. So they are probably playing with a bit of worry, but I don't think it's a bad thing personally. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Before I come on to you two, Coach and Adam, I just feel where I can see where they're coming from. The reason being is just simply because two things. They are playing a makeshift Liverpool team and an Arsenal side who are not the strongest. And if you could just get one of those wins, it's a statement as well. And you can challenge for the league title. You can. We have to be real with ourselves. Liverpool got these injuries or whatever. City, yes, they've come in and been pretty much incredible since they've got the run of form. Only conceded 4 goals since November or whatever. But it can be done. You can do. And also, you guys will know more than me. I've only seen Liverpool in the league last year, but the statement performance and getting a big victory against a supposed top 6 side means a lot. And I do feel like in moments, I think more probably in the Liverpool game, it's just certainly didn't fancy going for it. And I think in the Arsenal game, the chances didn't go in, obviously Cavani and Rashford. But it's all about the statement performance for me. And I do feel maybe in some extent, maybe you're right, Ibs, time will tell. Is Ibs right or am I right? Obviously, we'll know closer to time. But yeah, maybe they do feel like they can't believe where they are in this position. And obviously, I've seen Gary Neville and Ferdinand on Twitter really, like kind of mocking the position where Manchester United are, and just starting getting a little dig to Liverpool, and that's normal and everything. But I was a bit intrigued in those comments.
But my thing, sorry to just quickly jump. My thing is, if they had gone toe to toe with Arsenal yesterday and played expansive football and got beat, I guarantee you, Ollie would have got it on the neck. 100%, he would have got it. Because they said, "Why are you going there like that? Why are you going there?"
But he's got it on the neck from me anyway.
Yeah, no, but he's got it from you. But
so that nil is not doing it for me.
My point is, if you had gone there and I swear, and played Arsenal at their game, I guarantee you we're more likely to come out of that result with a win than you were. And if we come out and got,
man. We got the quality players.
What I'm saying is, if that had happened, you guarantee Ollie would have got it at the net. Why did you go to an away ground and play expansive football?
But the Arsenal team was shocking.
No, of course, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But there could be something in as well that last year we succeeded more often than not against the bigger teams, and this season it's been almost a flip reverse of that.
It has,
it could just be tactically that these teams are approaching games differently against us as well. They're respecting us a little bit more. Last year, these teams weren't respecting United. That's why we were going there. They were coming out, trying to hit us, and we were just killing them on the counter-attack. Every single team that came out at us. And this year around, Arsenal are playing a little bit more defensively in games. I thought the Chelsea game at home was a big missed opportunity for us. But even then, like Chelsea were a little bit more defensively aware because they got spanked 4-0 the year before at Old Trafford. So I think it's something for Ollie to have to tinker with again, because maybe like in the bigger games we've been found out. Do you know what I mean? Like, or maybe not found out. We just haven't reacted to the way teams are setting up against us now.
Just gonna wrap it up quickly. We spoke so long about Manchester United.
But Carragher's wrong, you know. Roy Keane's right. Carragher's wrong.
No, Carragher's right. Pick up my boy Carragher.
I'll wrap this up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We've just got 2-3 minutes left. So predictions for one game, and then obviously a start, sub, and sell, which we do each week. So we've got to be very quick on this one. Yeah, big game next week. Liverpool against Man City. So quickly, just shout out: Liverpool win, Man City win, or draw. Go.
Is it at Anfield?
Yep, it is.
I'm going to still go with a draw, score draw.
They both lose.
Adam, what do you think?
I think City will win, unfortunately. I'd love a draw, but I think City will win.
I'll tell you what, City, you've got no crowd there. So every time you shit the bed when we're booing you guys and bricking your coaches. So I'll tell you what, City is a big opportunity for them to win at Anfield. I think a draw as well. I think it'll be 1-1. Time will tell. All right, start, sub, and sell. It's a Man United-based theme, obviously, Adam, because you're here. So basically, in one game, so imagine like it's a Champions League final or whatever, would you start, sub, or sell these three? Rooney in their prime, Van Nistelrooy in their prime, or Ibrahimovic in their prime?
Ibra.
All right, cool. Ibra's going to get sold because I'm less connected to him or attached emotionally to him. So let's just mark that one down now. Ruud van Nistelrooy gets started because he's the greatest finisher I've ever seen and he's guaranteed a goal. But that's so Rooney would be sub, but really you start both in it.
Can't see on the fence. All right, cool.
Really, you start with like Rooney just behind Van Nistelrooy. Shit. But yeah, that's the way I go. Ruud van Nistelrooy is the greatest striker I've ever seen at United.
Okay, wow, fair enough. All right, I'll go. Don't want to do it, but anyways, Rooney first. I think I'd start him. I was probably too young to see Van Nistelrooy being the best finisher, so I can't really answer that. So I got Rooney to start, Van Nistelrooy bench, and then sell Ibrahimovic. Ibs, you're kind of surprised at that one. I'll go with you last.
I'll go with me last. Go with me last. Yeah.
Oh, okay, go on, Coach. Go ahead.
Rooney, Van Nistelrooy, and Ibrahimovic. Sell him.
Yeah, get that guy out of here. Anyways, yeah, Ibs.
I just thought it would have been better if you'd put Andy Cole instead of Ibrahimovic. That would have made it interesting. But Rooney has to start for me personally. I thought he's not appreciated in England enough personally, and that's my thing. So Rooney would start. The big-headed striker will be on the bench, and then Ibrahimovic would be sold.
Okay. Ruud's record was 150 goals in like 200 games. You know?
It was, but Rooney was just.
If he stayed for 2-3 more seasons, his United record goal scorer.
Rooney was just different quality, and
he was.
Injury record weren't good with Van Nistelrooy.
Rooney.
His injury record was good. It was just that he had that big injury when he was going to sign for us the first time. His knee went, didn't it? But he recovered from that quite well, to be fair. But Rooney obviously is probably the greatest English player in it.
He's different generation. He is 100%.
Greatest English player.
100%.
Player.
Yes, 100%.
Right,
we're not
going to go off topic. Look,
anything you want,
please, come on, man. Please don't.
Who's there? Hold on. Who's there?
Don't do. Are you saying all round or as a striker?
Are you going to say Scholes?
No, he's the
I'm not going to say Scholes.
Who then? Gerard or
Lampard? The greatest English
personally,
player.
I would have Gaza over.
Oh no! Come on.
Okay.
No.
Are you saying as a player? Are you saying as a player or achievements? What are you talking about? Just as a player?
Yeah.
Player. Rooney toxic.
Everything. Rooney was what Gaza was supposed to be.
Yes, Rooney's better than Gaza. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
don't like the guy.
Yeah,
Bro, I think we just, because Gaza never achieved what he should have achieved, if Rooney after 5 years just stopped playing football, we'd be like, Rooney was the greatest I've ever seen. Because you like, what should have been in it? I think that's what it is with Gaza, what should have been. Rooney was what Gaza should have been.
Did you guys watch Gaza in
Look, we're not going to go off topic.
Gaza was sick. But Wazza is United's greatest goal scorer. Well, not greatest goals, top goal scorer. England's top goal scorer. And he's won every single trophy. Every trophy.
Cool.
That's what I said. Is it achievements or just a player? That's what I you can't do that. You can't.
Boys.
But
Let's
then we can say Val Morrison was the greatest player.
let's
No. Come on.
let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Anyways, that's the start, sub, and sell. We do that each one. So yeah, interesting one. Obviously, Adam, you gone for Van Nistelrooy, and us three gone for Rooney to start. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. It's fair play. EBA probably could have gone for Mckola ahead of Zlatan, but yeah. It's been an interesting podcast. A lot about Manchester United, but great to have you, Adam. Thank you for coming on, and I'm sure hopefully it'll be good therapy for you as well if it was. Is there anything you want to add, Adam?
Nah, man. Thank you for having me, and yeah, we'll get you boys on Stretford Paddock or something soon, man.
Yeah, don't get me on there. Yeah. Anyways, Adam, honestly, I really enjoy it. Having you on the kickoff. I think is great, man. Tell the guys we miss Hugh Wizzy, by the way.
Yeah, Hugh's class, man. Obviously, I replaced him in that because obviously he went to do his own thing and that. But I love Hugh. Got a lot of time for him, but yeah, it's a great show to be involved in.
Adam, do you mind doing me a favour, just out of curiosity, saying hi to Adam Tate for me, please, to Tatey.
Andy Tate, yeah, man. Always.
Yeah, I love Andy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'll give him a shout if you like. I'll try and get him on for you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we're going to wrap it up, everyone. So we'll talk about West Ham, Liverpool, a bit on the Liverpool title talk. Thomas Tuchel, Arsenal 0, Man United 0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the title race, Anthony Martial, start, sub, and sell, and obviously the prediction for Liverpool v City next week. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to Team Talk TV, interact with me on YouTube and on Instagram. Make sure you check out Adam Mckola's channel as well. And yeah,
Rudy over Gaza.
Oh, boy. All right, guys. Gonna wrap it up, everyone.
Gaza over Gaza all day.
Shahab, next week, please put that on the agenda, please.
All right, cool. Next week we'll be there. Thank you very much, guys. See you soon.
Cheers.